Roger, N5XTC. It's a pleasure to hear from you over there in Hampton. I'm just across the water in Norfolk. I'm Kevin. I am Kilo Mike 4, Romeo Victor Lima.
Roger, Kevin, I got you full quieting there into the repeater. You got a good signal. I believe I've talked to you before. I'll know when I log it in here in a second, but I recognize your voice. Yeah, you're coming in full quieting into the repeater. What radio system are you using there, over?
I have a new Yaesu FT2900, and I have probably the most low-grade makeshift dipole antenna that you could ever see. I made it myself, and I think I spent about $10 for all the products that I needed to put this antenna together. So that's why I was a little concerned on the transmitting side, because I was unable to hit one of these Norfolk repeaters, but I'm able to get out with this one. And you're actually the first person that I've talked to on this station, so it's a great honor and pleasure to be talking to you there in the N5XTC. This is KM4RVL.
Yeah, the antenna seems to be working for you. What Yaesu did you say you were using? I'm going to look it up. I don't really know that radio.
This Yaesu was suggested to me by a gentleman who was an experienced ham down there in the Elizabeth City area that I was visiting, and I spoke to on a handheld a couple weeks ago. It's the Yaesu FT2900, and I ordered it from the ham store online in Woodbridge, Virginia, and they had a really good sale price on it. So once again, it's the Yaesu
75 watts, that's fine. That's VHF only.
It's basically a mobile, but I have it set up for my base station.
Takes a while for this repeater to drop. Yeah, I do know that radio now that I looked it up there. Yeah, that's a good radio. The only problem is it's only 2 meter, but it's 75 watts. And it'll do you right on 2 meters. Looks like they got it at Gigaparts for $119. What'd you pay for it, if you don't mind me asking, over?
That's exactly the price that I paid for it from, what do they call it, HRO online?
Yeah.
It's the
ham radio
ham
outlet
shop out of Woodbridge, Virginia. And it was $119, and they had a special going on with no shipping. Quite possibly it's still on.
They
I
usually
haven't
do
looked
free
over the
shipping.
past couple days, but I got a good price on it, and I'm happy with the radio, and I was a little worried about my makeshift antenna capabilities, but looks like I'm learning every day.
Yeah, what setting do you got their power on? It probably has 3 settings, like 75, 50, and something else, I would imagine. Yeah, I'd check the SWR on that antenna to be sure and all that. All the clocks are going off top of the hour here. It's a little noisy. But, yeah, I'd check the SWR. And what setting is your power at? Or how can you set the power? What are the options on there, over?
The power setting is 4 settings.
That's good.
I want to say the lowest one is 1.5 watts, and then I believe the next setting is 5 watts, and then I think we go to 30, and then the highest setting is 75 watts. I am actually keeping it on the low setting at 1.5 watts.
Yeah, I need to turn mine down.
I'm sure about this antenna
What's
and
this?
about my electrical circuit setup here, so we just wanted to run as low a power as possible to get out. Over.
Yeah, definitely better on the radio. I just turned mine down to 50%. I had it all the way up. I didn't realize it when I was asking you about yours. I looked at mine. I'm on an ICOM 7000, so it's a really adjustable. Am I hitting the repeater at the same? Am I no quieting there? Full quieting.
Well, you sound real good on this end here too, N5XTC. You've got full quieting on your transmission likewise.
All right, now I'm at 25%. 25%. Let me know if that makes any difference. Yeah, I got a buddy up in Canada. I just turned him on to ham radio, and he just got his license up there, and he's got no radios yet at all. So we've been looking at stuff, and you know, that's a nice radio there. I kind of wanted to give him a dual-banded radio so he could do UHF and VHF, and then get him a separate HF radio. Or I told him if he can find one of these ICOM 7000s used, it does everything. And you know, he can go that route. But you're sounding really good for the amount of power you're pushing there. I imagine you're pretty close to that repeater there. I have no idea where it is. Over.
Yeah, this particular repeater I'm on here is fairly close to me here in Norfolk. And there's another one over at 145.330 that I've tried to talk off of as well. And I've had a little success on that one with the handheld, but I haven't had so much success with the other one at 145.330 off the base station. So this one here is, I'm closer, and I had tried for several days to make contact and talk to someone, so you're the first, and you know, it makes me really happy to know that I have a viable station here. This particular radio, even though it's only 2 meter, it's a great radio for a starter. The functions are really simple on it, and it's very affordable, so it might be a good way to go for a base station for a beginner. Over.
That's the repeater calling his call sign out in Morse code. Yeah, I got to look up what he's got up there near him. He's near Toronto, so I don't know what kind of repeaters and stuff he has up there. Their licensing is a little different. He had to get a certain percent to be able to use HF, VHF, and UHF. I think it was like 85% or something like that, and he got 95%, so he gets his privileges. A little different than the way it's running down here, and he got his call sign immediately. He came home that night after he passed his test and gave me his call sign. I'm like, really? And he's already on QRZ, so that's pretty quick. But yeah, it's a great radio. You can't go wrong with any Yaesu, and it looks like it's got a really big heat sink on it there. You know, so if you're mobile or use it as a base, you're going to be doing well. And that's definitely a great price. Heck, I wouldn't mind getting one for myself for my truck for that price. This is N5XTC. Talking to KM4RVL.
Roger. N5XTC, could you please come back to me and let me know what your name is? Once again, I'm KM4RVL, and I'm Kevin on this end. Over.
Yeah, I got you down there as Kevin. I put you in the log. The name is Scott. Scott on this end. Again, you know I'm out of Hampton. I have talked to you before. I believe I was on my HT. I don't have it in the logbook, though, so maybe I didn't log it in, but your voice sounds familiar. And do you have an HF radio or anything like that? Are you going to get into that?
Scott, I'm still in the learning stage here. I'll tell you the only other 2 radios I have. I have my first radio that I ever made contact with on 2 meter and 70 centimeter, which was a handy talkie, one of the very cheap Baofeng UV5Rs, and that gave me the bug. So then the next radio I got, just before I got this one, is a handheld Yaesu VX6R, and I'm still playing around with that a lot to learn the capabilities. But the first thing I've learned with that one is I'm going to have to replace the antenna. And that's a very nice radio, too. It has a lot of capabilities, and in fact, I'm thinking about actually implementing a system to be able to plug that into a base coax and antenna and transmit on that sometime as well. But those are my 3 radios right now.
Yeah, I just looked up that Yaesu you're talking about. That's a nice radio there. I was looking at I forget all the nomenclature. I don't have any Yaesu radios, so the nomenclature kind of escapes me. But it was that submersible handheld. I had ordered it and then called up Gigaparts and canceled because it doesn't do anything yet that I don't already have 10 times over. But I just like the style and the looks of the radio and the fact that you can drop it in the river. So I thought about getting one of those instead of all that new touchscreen digital stuff. That's the next thing to get into. But yeah, you're doing really good with your station there. Just build them radios slowly. That's what you got to do, and eventually end with a whole bunch of crap. I'm mostly into ICOMs. I got ICOM 7410, and I got this 7000, and I got a bunch of the handhelds. My favorite's probably that Kenwood THF6 there. Over.
Roger, on the Kenwood, that's one I considered, but the handheld that I do have is the Yaesu VX6, so it is the old school with the buttons and the dial. It's not touchscreen, and I deliberately wanted a little bit of the.
It's blurry since I dropped it. I'm going to clear the video.
It's built like a